Hi, I'm Sherry, and this is Diet Break. I'm really excited to share with you today. This is my first video I've made, so bear with me. I'm working on trying to get all the technical things down and making this a better quality production. So right now, it is what it is. I thank you so much for tuning in, and today I'm going to share with you my secret to my success on my weight loss journey. I started working on losing weight by accident entirely last year. June 2025 was the beginning of my journey. Since then, I've lost 75 pounds. I'll put on the screen my before picture. You see me now at 75 pounds down. I didn't anticipate that I was going to lose this weight the way I did. Honestly, my plan was to get bariatric surgery back in June of last year. That is exactly what I was trying to do, was to get myself ready to go. I had given up all hope of losing weight any other way. I've tried injecting medications, I've tried taking pills, I've done crazy exercise plans and starve yourself type diets and counted points and counted calories, did all of that, and really just came to the point where I said, this is it. I throw in the towel. I am done. I can't do it on my own. I'm signing up for surgery. A good friend of mine had done it. She looks fantastic. And I thought if it could work for her, maybe it would work for me because I'm hopeless. I can't do this. I get ravenously hungry. I get angry. I get frustrated. I can't function. I can't think. There's so many things I cannot do. But I knew that I needed to lose the weight. My mobility became an issue. I had a very big difficult time trying to walk up and down stairs. Walking around the stores was extremely difficult. I needed a shopping cart basically to push around to kind of lean on to help take some of the weight off of my body. Some of the pressure. I just really had hit a size that was unmanageable and unhealthy. So as I was getting ready for bariatric surgery, the dietitian that I was seeing at the time had ordered blood work, which and the doctor also wanted blood work. So they did wanted to see how I was going to do and track my progress and see how I was doing with my intake of vitamins. I did do the blood tests. The triglycerides were high, and the cholesterol, although it wasn't dangerously high, was definitely not where it needed to be within a safe and healthy place. So I had these things on the horizon. I was not diabetic, but it was something that I could see very clearly in my future. So it was a concern. And the reason why I signed up for the bariatric surgery because I knew that the weight had to come off. If not, then my future was looking pretty grim. So as I was getting ready for surgery, I was told that the first step I had to do was to bring my protein intake in up to 60 grams. Now, I didn't know exactly how to do that. I did not want to do crazy amount of counting, but anyway, I said, all right, I'll do some tracking. Clearly in my diet, I wasn't getting that much of protein per day. Absolutely was not. Less than half of that, really, realistically, is what I was actually taking in. Protein. So the first thing I did for that really was I was told to go get some protein powder that I could use that, make a milkshake basically or a smoothie as a supplement, and that would help bring up my protein as well as looking at other things that I could add into my diet, whole eggs and salmon, tuna, different meats, legumes. So I thought, okay, well, we'll go get the protein powder. It was a bit of an experience. I'm really going to be perfectly honest. I can't imagine what I look like to other people going into the store to buy this powder. Here I was, this very large lady, hanging over my cart, just trying to basically move one step in front of the other to go buy this protein powder. Standing next to these really bulky, people that are, working out full of muscles, and these gym bros, I guess is a lack of a better term for it, surrounding me. I must have looked a sight. But anyway, I did, work my way through the different protein powders. I tried one after the other. If you haven't experienced protein powders yet, it is something you should consider. It does help. There's two different kinds that you can get. There's a vegan protein powder, which is based on pea protein. And then there's usually a whey isolate protein powder. Obviously, it's a whey produce. So I tried both of them. I did not enjoy the pea protein one because I found that there were little bits of fiber in it, and it caused me to choke a little bit. It was very uncomfortable with drinking it. Now, using pea protein inside of things that I cook or make, that is a different story, and I use pea protein quite a lot now. I make my own protein bars, and that part of my recipe does include pea protein. So really good ingredients. So don't write it off. But if you find like me, you didn't enjoy it inside of a protein shake, that's okay. So whey isolate protein is what I went with, and look for the best quality one I could find and afford. There were all types of prices and ranges there. So that was my first start, was to just increase that protein. And as I brought the protein up, something really interesting happened that I didn't expect. I started to notice that I was losing weight And that stunned me because I wasn't dieting. I didn't take anything out of my diet. I still ate a lot of foods that I absolutely don't recommend you eat, that are really bad for you. I ate out a lot. I was always busy. I'd go out shopping. I'd get hungry, so I'd eat out. And anyway, that's what I did. I just added the protein powder to my diet, and within a very short time, 20 pounds dropped off of me, just like that. And I was shocked. I thought, what is going on here? How did I just drop 20 pounds? Hmm. So I started to look into proteins a little bit more and thought, well, in addition to the protein powder, what else can I do? I looked at Greek yogurts. I actually like yogurt, but first I started out with Greek yogurt with fruit added. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. But anyway, but that was step one is, started eating Greek yogurt. It's high in protein and, it really does give you a little boost. So I thought, okay, that's a good way to do it. Whole eggs. I have my own chickens. I love fresh eggs. So, I enjoyed having eggs. I say whole eggs because there is a very big trend that happened in the 1990s and early 2000s that told everybody that eating the yolk of eggs was bad for you and that it's high in cholesterol and it was an evil food. And for a long time, people were just eating egg whites. I will say to that there's some strong evidence that dietary cholesterol doesn't necessarily harm your cholesterol level, and that eggs are an excellent source of very healthy protein and highly recommended. And that does include the egg yolk. A lot of your micronutrients are inside that yolk. So don't throw out the yolks, eat your whole egg. Unless your doctor's telling you otherwise, for heaven's sake, eat your egg. The other thing I started looking at was something that is basically, I've always known it's a good source of protein, but let's just say in my region, it's not a food we eat a lot, which is legumes. Legumes are a fantastic way to add protein to your diet and fiber. They're usually high in fiber, which is excellent. So I went on YouTube and started watching a lot of videos, most of them videos from other countries, of how to cook legumes, specifically how to cook with lentils and chickpeas, and even beans, really, because I mean, in my area, if somebody says we're going to have beans for dinner, what they mean is baked beans, which are full of molasses and brown sugar or maple syrup. It's a very sugary meal. It is not what you really want to be adding to your diet. So if you're going to add more protein through beans, please don't eat baked beans. You can do other things with beans and enjoy them without adding all the sugar to it. You just don't need that sugar. So anyway, I started looking at legumes and really started finding ways to add them into the diet. I'll be honest, the first probably 8 weeks, I was the gassiest person around. It was a terrible experience. My stomach didn't thank me. I didn't like it very much, but fortunately, I do have a job where I work in a remote office in my home, so I didn't really need to be around other people while my stomach and my intestines adjusted to eating beans and legumes. It can be a rather adventurous experience as if this isn't part of your diet already, so please be careful. Um, over time, as I implemented different sources of proteins, kept with my protein shakes, I started to realize that, maybe I should pare down how much eating out I was doing. So part of my protein journey, I did learn how to make my own protein bar because very quickly, after taking a few minutes of reading the labels on the protein bars in the store, I realized I don't want any part of this. The lists of ingredients of things that I cannot pronounce are long. I might even throw a label or two up here for you to have a look at. But anyway, um, I didn't want that in my diet and thought, I need to find a way to do something so that when I go out to go grocery shopping or what have you, I'm not tempted to go and eat out because for me, when I go grocery shopping, it's a 20 to 25-minute drive from my house. It's not close. And invariably, while I'm out shopping, our major shopping center, it's not close enough to home that I can go home and eat, and in a relatively decent time. So to stop myself from being tempted to eat foods out of the house, I started making my own protein bars. I have a fantastic recipe. I'm going to be excited to make a video in the future to share that with you. I did make a protein bar that is uniquely mine, and you're welcome to my recipe. So I will be sure to add a video on making my protein bars so you can see how great they are, and try them out for yourself. They were fantastic. I make them up in 9 bars at a time. and wrap them up, put them in the fridge. And when I go out shopping, I will grab one and throw it in my purse, take it with me. So while I'm out shopping, if I really get that craving and I'm very hungry too, I can pull out my protein bar and enjoy it. It makes me feel satisfied. So my stomach's not growling and I don't feel like I need to eat. And it also gives me just a little hint of sweetness in it, which helps me sometimes too, because to be honest, I still get tempted when I see sweets around me all the time. At this point, since I've been off of eating sugar for so long, I don't really want to eat those sweets, but they still look good. I still remember. So, my first step with this whole journey was just to focus on protein. The first, 20 pounds dropped off. I started to see movement on my scale that I hadn't seen in ages. It started making me think more about the quality of the protein I was taking in, thinking more about what I'm doing with my food. And it really started a path that unfolded that went in a direction I wasn't expecting. So I'm excited to go forward and share a little bit more of this journey with you in my next video. I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me in my first video. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm excited to come back and talk to you more about my next steps in my weight loss journey. So please like, share, comment, subscribe. I would be so delighted to have some people join me on this. Bye for now.